Good evening, folks. I would like to introduce Windsor Heights Mayor Mike Jones. Mike is a candidate for Iowa House District 32. I have that correct, right? 32, Mike?
That's right.
Great. And Mike's a member of our coalition, and we wanted to thank him a lot for his support, what he's done for us over this last year. And without further ado, I'll give the floor to you, Mike, and you'll have the next 5 or 6 minutes to talk about yourself and your campaign. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch. Um, a question I ask a lot of people is, I guess when were you radicalized by politics? Which, for me, I guess that answer was it wasn't until my 30s. I always voted. I always paid attention to politics, but I moved to Windsor Heights, I think, in 2012. I grew up here. Um, because my grandparents lived here. I spent every weekend with them from about the time I was a kid until about the time I was 18. But I think a lot of people might remember this, 2016, 2017. There was a lot of unpleasantness surrounding a sidewalk situation. And basically the elected officials at that point, um, they kind of went against, I would say, the popular sentiment about what was going on in the community. And so, the community already had a lot of negativity around it with a speed limit on University and some speed cameras as well. And so I decided to run for city council. I ran against, I believe there were 9 other candidates. I got the most votes. So my theory of government on city council was how about we just do things that are popular? And so during the time I was on city council, I got the speed cameras taken down. Got the speed limit raised to 30 miles an hour. While I was on council, I wasn't terribly impressed with the job the mayor was doing, so I ran against him. I got 66% of the vote and kind of kept the same things going while I was during my time as mayor, which was, make the city a positive place to live, do things that are popular. Colby Park, we spent $3 million in the park, a lot of green initiatives, and I just got reelected last year. So moving forward, running for Iowa House because I want to win. I want to take the state back for Democrats. Um, I'm not one to complain and not do something about it. And you've got Republicans who are chipping away from at the local level, local control, eroding local control, anywhere from fireworks to property taxes, abortion, public schools being defunded, etc. So um, this is not the state I grew up in. When I was a kid, there was Terry Branstad was our governor, Tom Harkin was our senator, Dave Nagel was our congressman. Democrats had the Iowa House and the Senate. Um, Fast forward to, I'd say a little bit more recently, we held majority of the federal seats in the elected government. Harkin, Braley, Loebsack. That wasn't so long ago, but there used to be balance in this state. But, that's all gone. Uh, the other side, I would say, just isn't willing to compromise anymore. And I think that we need to be a very aggressive, progressive party at this point. So, what am I going to run on? I'll just go through 3 things real quickly. Criminal justice, I would say criminal justice reform is something I'm very interested in. I am a criminal defense attorney. I'm a public defender. So we're at 24% overcrowding in the prisons. Majority of people who are sent to prison aren't even sent for new offenses. They are sent for revocations of their probation or parole. Iowa's violent crime rate has dropped every year since 2020. Our drug laws are broken. We need criminal justice reform. Second thing, we need to fund our public schools. 2% is poverty. I mean, that we are defunding our public schools. I think the 2.7% was the cost of living adjustment this year, so 2% is not cutting it. And then 300 plus $1 million for a ESA program that has no oversight. I mean, the state is going to be broke. Lastly, I would say we've been talking about cleaning up our water for decades now. We need to do something about it. The DNR should be a regulatory agency. It shouldn't be an advocacy arm for Farm Bureau. We know what works: cover crops, grassed waterways, filter strip, nutrient management. We need more testing at confined animal feeding operations. So everyone is aware of the problem, but we need people to actually take action about it. Those are the things I want to focus on. That's what my campaign is about. That's what I would focus on during my time at the legislature. That's what I'm running on.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I do appreciate it. We have two questions from the questionnaire. The first one is concerning education. Number one, who should determine the minimum requirements for free college or trade schools?
Well, I think the Department of Education should probably make that determination. I think that the state should determine what the minimum requirements should be. I think they should act as a regulatory agency, and I think that we should probably offer, the sun's getting in my eyes. I think that we should probably offer, one of the questions in the questionnaire was, whether or not we should consider offering uh, free college and free trade schools, just like we do for business schools as well. And I think that's a very good idea. But I think the Department of Education should take a more active role in the educational standards that we set in our state. And I think that, Republicans have, both at the federal and the state level, attempted to destroy or scale back what the Department of Education has tried to do. So I think they are responsible and they should be empowered to set the educational standards for those bodies.
On environment, question number one, and this will be the final question. How do we compensate for the energy loss from coal plants if they are decommissioned?
Well, I think that there is a lot of opportunity. There continues to be a lot of opportunity in wind. I mean, but I think we also have a lot of opportunity in solar. We are sure building a lot of data centers, and I have strong feelings on data centers, but they are being built and they are very large, and they have very large roofs. And you look in certain places like in California and in Texas, they can put solar on those roofs. We need to start looking at alternative ways we can power our communities, because uh, I think there are 7 or 8 coal-fired plants left from Mid-American, and I just don't think that's the future. So we need to continue to invest in wind, and we need to continue to invest in solar. And I think if it is a safe way to go, I know that they are considering, or I think the plans are, to reactivate the nuclear reactor in, is it Palo? So I think that people are apprehensive about nuclear power, but I think that things have progressed in a way that it is a safe way to operate. So I think that those are the three things that we can examine. But they're right now not looking to the future, the distant future. Well, I guess that's only 3 years away, actually. But solar and wind, especially solar, with the amount of data farms we're building, those are the things that we can look at immediately.
We have a few minutes left, so I'm going to give you 3 minutes to kind of close it up on your end. Just anything else you would like to add concerning yourself or your campaign?
Sure. I am a public defender, So I've been a public defender my entire legal career. So I have spent my entire legal career defending the indigent people in this state, fighting for people who need help. Um, I think that's why I ran for city council. That's why I ran for mayor. That's also why I'm running for state representative. I always want to represent people who need help, and that's something I would continue to do at the State House. Um, I was asked, you have a lot of, I would say, progressive ideas. How are we going to get this done? We've won a lot of special elections. Democrats have won a lot of special elections recently. And the reason that we've won the special elections is because we have all been on the same page. We have all been on the same page we've all had the same common goal. I think you look at Renee Hardman's most recent win. It's because we were all focused on, the same objective. If we're all on the same page about what we want, if we're all on the same page about what we need, we can take back the House, we can take back the Senate, we can take back the governor's mansion. These are all things that we can achieve. And it's gonna take time, but again, it wasn't so long ago that this was a purple state. It wasn't so long ago that we actually had, a Democratic trifecta. I mean, those were things that actually happened. But we need to all be on the same page. I think Democrats can sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself, we can, bicker amongst each other and lose sight of what the objectives are. But I think it's all about, you know, having the same objective, working together, having the same message, being on the same page, and really wanting to win. And that's where I'm at. Um, I I heard the other day some talk up at the State House, lamenting about the way things used to be with the Republican Party, about the way things used to be up there at the Capitol, about how they used to be able to work together. Well, the thing about the old days is they're the old days. Unfortunately, that's just not how they are anymore. And for the foreseeable future, that's not how they're going to be. I mean, we are going to have to figure out how we are going to get things done for ourselves. And we are not going to be able to get things done, I think, until we take power back. So that's what I am fighting to do. And I don't have an opponent either in the primary, and right now I don't have an opponent in the general. They could file someone at convention, but we'll see. So what I tell everyone whenever I talk is it might not necessarily be, getting my election may not be, heavily contested, but getting out there and voting for Rob Sand, getting out there and voting for Sarah Trone Garriott, getting out there and voting for Louis Sita, who I've endorsed, getting out there and voting for all of those candidates, that is what's really important to get all of those other Democrats elected.